Alan, you're P4. You're going to have to retire the car. Welcome to Simplified Sparky Marketing. On Wednesday this week, I had a very important month's mind mass to go to for the funeral I've been back to, which was the main reason we've been sticking around so long and not getting back to Australia. It was to attend that and pay our respects. On Wednesday, while I was driving to Waterford from Cork, on the motorway, the car decided to chug, and then break down and just coast. And luckily, it wasn't that busy at the time. It was about 4 p.m. I was able to cross the lanes and then get into the hard shoulder and stop the car. Panicked for a little bit, wonder what was going on. And I looked at the dash. It was all lit up with lights. I turned off the car and tried to instantly, as you would reflex, just try to start it again. It chugged, and it didn't start. And I was like, what the hell is going on? In my head, I was convinced it wasn't fuel because I topped up, I filled the car like 2 days previous. And I'd only done about 300 kilometers in those days. And the range is apparently 700 odd kilometers. And I definitely didn't do that much. And therefore, I was convinced it wasn't fuel. So as I swung the car again, it said low fuel. I was like, no way can it be fuel. So I was like, something's electronically wrong with it, that it's not actually registering the fuel and it's not starting or whatever. So I was like, fuck it. I've got two options here. So I pulled out the little booklet for the rental car to see what this protocol would be. And I think you had to call like roadside assistance that they were aligned with. But I was like, fuck it. I'm going to take it upon myself to try and fix this problem. And I got onto my Google Maps, checked out where the closest petrol station was. Ironically, as the crow flies, it was like directly to my left of the hard shoulder across a paddock or a field, as we like to call it in Ireland. And I was like, I can't go cross country. So I had to get a taxi. I organised an Uber. Luckily enough, Uber was working in the area it was, because if you're rural in Ireland, Uber does not work and it's a nightmare to get around anywhere. And the guy came along, poor fellow came down the wrong side of the motorway. I had to go like another couple of kilometres, swing around and come back and pick me up. And I came up with a cunning plan, and I said, once he picks me up, I will ask him if he will take cash instead of paying for Uber, and he'll just wait as I get the fuel in the canister and go back to the vehicle, which he did, top guy. So I filled up the canister and went back to the car, and I was like, please fucking work, because I had about 2 hours to spare, and it was about an hour to get to the destination where I was going. And I filled up the car with a canister, and it sure as shit had fired after a few swings. And it was a great feeling to problem solve that. And I drove to the petrol station, topped up the car, got on my way. But what had actually happened was, any car that I've ever driven, when the fuel level goes low, it pings a warning light, a red light stays on your dash to say, like, you need to get fucking fuel ASAP or it's going to die. This car, shout out to a Renault Captur, don't ever get one. That's the car I'm renting at the moment. It just basically said no more range on the kilometers left to drive, but it didn't ping up to say you need fuel. And I've never experienced that before. And because of the fact mentally, I was like, no way do I need fuel. And that didn't pop up. That combination caused the car to run out of fuel. And I'm convinced someone siphoned it out of it, or there's a leak or something, because no way did I chug through 700 kilometers of range in the vehicle. So that's fine. Went back into the petrol station and it was bone dry. It took like another €70 on top of the €10 that I put in off the canister. So it was bone dry. So it was fuel, but just very, very bizarre. So the 20 years I've been driving, I've never ever run out of fuel. But in this instance, it's happened to me. And this is where the podcast gets into the business side of things. And people tend to blame things and get angry about things, but sometimes you have to look at the good side of things. So I look at that now and I laugh. It cost me a couple of euro and it cost me a bit of time, but I am fucking damn glad that I drive to the airport to Dublin on Monday morning at 3 a.m. I'll be setting off, and it would have happened then. I guarantee you it would have fucking happened then on the way, because when I get a rental car, I usually leave it go bone dry and then I will just go and top it up like at the closest airport to the drop off with fuel. So they don't charge you $15 per litre. And I would have run out on the way up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Probably not been in the middle of nowhere, not been able to contact anyone, potentially missing a flight. If we had to abandon the car and go for the flight with a taxi or something, there would have been a hindrance with the car being abandoned on the side of the road. Getting that back, I probably would have lost couple of grand they put on the credit card. It would have been an absolute nightmare. It would have been an absolute nightmare. So I am thanking my lucky stars that I conked out on the road there and then, and I was able to fix the problem. And now I'm fully aware that the tank and the gauge is a bit fucked, and I just have to stay on top of it. And I think that's where what I don't like in business, and the particular people I don't like to work with, are the negative mentality that the world is out to get them. The world isn't out to get you. The world is not out to get you. It is what effort you put into the world you will get back out. And I am seeing that so much the more this business progresses, that it's like what you put in, you get out. And it's just one of those things. Just another prime example of this is you look at the contractor forums on Facebook and stuff, and there's just an abundance of negativity. It's just everybody's cutting everybody. Someone asks an honest question, they get shot down. Somebody will then be putting up on, a forum or something like that on Reddit or Facebook or something, like giving out that he's lost the job and he reckons that somebody's come in cheaper. But it's like, all right, you've lost the job. Instead of putting that effort into posting a post so you can look like Billy Big Balls and say like, oh, I've lost this job, look at this dickhead, he's undercut me, not knowing actual facts about the job. Maybe they just didn't like you. Maybe they were just like, I don't like the look of this guy, I don't like the look of his business. It's not about price, I'm going with somebody else. What shits me is the amount of time and effort that person went to vent on a forum on Facebook. Why not use that energy, repurpose, and put a post on your own business page promoting your business, that you've actually put a step forward in your business and you've done something to improve it or change something. Put that energy into your business. Don't be fucking hanging out with a bunch of sparkies just saying, hey, look at this dickhead. And that's what kills me, is like, people think the world are out to get them, and that time the world got me. But it's just about how you get back up on that horse and get yourself to a petrol station, fill up and go again. Just something that happened to me, and I was like, yeah, this is the exact same as business, that people will think the world is against them, but it's not. It's all the effort you put in. It's like, I'm quite on leads. Did you do anything? Did you do anything with marketing recently? Nah. That's probably your answer right there. So yeah, I just wanted to do a super quick podcast today because I've put one out this week already, but I just wanted to retain the Friday ritual of putting one out, and I thought this was just a mind shift more than anything. That stop blaming the fucking world, get up off your ass, do things. And I will catch you back in Sydney for the next one with a bit better of audio fidelity this day next week.